I used to rule this school. I was the queen, the hottest girl in the entire district. I was dating the school's basketball star, and everyone was jealous of me. Then one day, everything changed. The entire school found out my secret, the girls kicked me off the table, and I even gained like 8 pounds. One day I was the queen, the next, I was sitting at this loser table.
Hey, the name's Napoleon. Junior year was an interesting one. I came to school in France, where the it girl was disliked by everyone, with the only protection of her precious boyfriend on her side. Her name was Louise. She moved just before I came, but I heard about her. Everyone has heard about her. She was filthy rich, spoiled brat who preyed on others for her own satisfaction. Sounds like a nice girl, right? She cared about nobody but herself, and that was the way she was looked at by everyone. Reggie, her super hot boyfriend and captain of the basketball team, was her in. That was how she was popular. This is how she held the power, by dating the hottest, most athletic and popular guy at the school. Her friends, only because they were afraid of her than anything, finally realized that they were worth so much more than she made them to be. So one day, with the help of Louise herself, they finally rose up and decided they weren't going to take her crap. Majority rules, and Louise was not part of the majority. She eventually was overthrown, and well, I'll just start from the beginning. They were all sitting at the lunch table, with Louise at the head of course, followed by Reggie, Kitty, Maxine, and Jessica. Louise always insisted that they eat salads because she wouldn't be seen with people that ate school lunch. It was bad for their image. As Kitty ate her Snickers bar, which obviously wasn't a salad, Louise looked at her in disgust. Not to be rude, but Kitty, you really don't need that, she said as she handed the bar to Reggie, who promptly made a basket as he swished it into the garbage can across the lunchroom, with the most beautiful shooting form on the whole basketball team. Hey, that was my lunch, exclaimed Kitty, obviously hurt by the way Louise took her food away from her. Louise replied, I know, actually, you've all been looking a little big lately. Anyway, she said, the rest of you should bring salads to lunch for the next few weeks. I think you all better give me your lunch money so you aren't tempted. I need some retail therapy anyway. The girls were hurt, but their friend Rhonda was coming in the door, wearing these adorable cowboy boots and a sundress. Sorry I'm late, I had to make up the test, she stammered as she took her seat next to Kitty. Yeah, you better be sorry. You know I don't like to have empty chairs at the table. It looks bad, Louise spit at Rhonda. And then it happened. She saw the boots. Oh my gosh, what are you wearing? A jean jacket, Rhonda replied nervously. No, on your feet. Are those cowboy boots? Louise was practically cutting her with her eyes by now. Yeah, aren't they cute? Rhonda asked, her face already the shade of a tomato. They would be if you were in a barn. Where did you get those? Farmers are us, retorted Louise, to which the entire table erupted with nervous laughter and sympathetic smiles. Sweetie, be a gentleman and dump my tray, Louise cooed sweetly up to her boyfriend. And of course, since he's such a nice guy, he did. No questions asked. As soon as he left, Kitty spoke for the first time from the corner of the table. Why is your boyfriend allowed to sit here in mine? Because there aren't any extra chairs, Louise said bluntly. But you bring an extra chair for Reggie every day, said Kitty. Maybe you could just take your chair, I'd rather anyways, Louise said. Kitty got up and ran to the bathroom crying. She's just upset because she's fat, Louise told the other girls. Isn't that right? To which she got no answer, just in a comfortable silence.
The next day, everyone made it to lunch, even Kitty, who decided that she would eat a salad if that is what it took to keep her place at the table with Reggie and Louise. As they all sat in their designated spots, of course, Louise spoke her mind yet again. Wearing the new sunglasses that she had just bought with their lunch money, she said loudly, so that the whole table could hear, Does everybody love my new sunglasses? I'm glad you all brought salads today, but to be honest, I'm not sure if it will be enough. Now, the girls didn't know what the heck she was talking about. They all just stared at one another, too scared to ask what Louise would make them do next, until Jessica finally spoke up and said shyly, What do you mean? Well, if you want to maintain your social status, you better start exercising or something. Actually, Louise said, come to think of it, Daddy's gardener just quit. Everybody be at my house by 4:30 sharp. I know what you can do. The lawn needs to be mowed and the flowers need to be watered. And that was that, because Louise said so. After school, they all met in Louise's front yard at 4:30 sharp. Louise sat lounging near the garden in her swimsuit, drinking a Shirley Temple and getting a tan. She had a whistle around her neck, and of course her brand new sunglasses were resting at the crown of her head. Louise blew her whistle loudly. Come on, you fatties, hurry up and plant those flowers, she shouted. Where's Maxine? Rhonda, I need another Shirley Temple. Jessica, you missed a spot. This went for like forever until Jessica had finally had enough. That's it. I can't do this anymore. All I've had today is a salad. I'm tired and hungry, and because of you, I can't go buy myself some food. She shouted as she pushed the lawnmower aside. I'm so sick of you. You're just a brat. From now on, you have to come sit at the side of the table, just like the rest of us, not at the head of it. By this point, the girls were all staring in shock, but she wasn't dumb. You're not the boss of us, so quit acting like it. If you don't stop, we're going to leave you, and all your stupid chairs will be empty. And as Jessica took her stuff and walked off the lawn, she had everyone but Louise in her wake.
At the lunch table the next afternoon, no one sat at the head of the table. Everybody seemed a lot happier, well, everybody except Louise, who was just sulking. Just as Kitty was finishing up her story, Louise saw an opportunity to strike yet again. And then I was like, no, that's not sushi I ordered, Kitty said, and the whole table erupted with laughter, except Louise, who snapped. Wow, Kitty, fascinating story. I just love hearing about how you don't know how to read a menu, Louise said sarcastically. As the tears started welling up in Kitty's eyes, Louise added, ugh, I can't believe you're all eating that again. It really isn't that bad if you just try it, Rhonda explained. Please, as if. You heard Mr. Miller. That stuff can kill you, retorted Louise. Oh, come on. You know it won't kill you. Stop exaggerating, snapped Maxine, who was extremely fed up with the lack of respect Louise displayed. That's fine, Maxine. Louise is right, Rhonda replied as she stopped eating and looked down at her plate. No, it's not. Nothing has changed. She's still the same, Maxine spat as she stood up. Oh, grow up. Of course I am. I was practically born to boss you around, and you'd all be losers without me. So make me sit here if you want, but I'll always be in charge, she yelled at Maxine. Then collected herself, she said again, now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to go wish Reggie good luck before his game. And she walked away from the table, a very defeated girls.
Louise pretended to be loyal to Reggie, but everyone will find out the truth soon. Right about now, Kitty is going to get her heart broken. She's a nice girl. But her ex-boyfriend, Steven, is quite the scumbag. Maxine and Kitty are in the bathroom. Just watch. Have you noticed how mean Louise has been lately? Said Kitty, while fixing her hair in the mirror next to Maxine. She's like that every day. I hate her, exclaimed Maxine. Who does she think she is? As Kitty turned to face Maxine, she stated, well, we're only popular because we're friends with her, and she's dating the most popular guy in the school, Reggie. We're not only popular because of her, exclaimed Maxine. Sure, that's what made us popular, but we don't need her anymore. Kitty sighed. Well, we might not need her, but we're stuck with her until graduation. Ugh, another year, she whined. But what if we could get rid of her? Maxine inquired mischievously. All we would need to do was ruin her reputation, and that wouldn't be very difficult. You know that girl's cheating on Reggie, right? Surprised, Kitty exclaimed, what? But he's so nice and hot. I could never cheat on Steven. Shocked, Maxine said sympathetically, you mean you don't know? I don't know what, Kitty replied apprehensively. Having to break the news to Kitty, Maxine sadly expressed, I thought you knew. Louise isn't the only one cheating. As Kitty's heart started to race, she asked cautiously, Maxine, what are you talking about? I don't know how to tell you this, but Louise is cheating on Reggie with Steven, Maxine said, closing her eyes to avoid looking into Kitty's hurt face. The blood rushed to Kitty's cheeks, and soon tears were falling down her face. What? No, Steven wouldn't do that, she screamed. Not my Steven. I'm sorry, kitten, comforted Maxine. Let's get her, said Kitty vengeancely, with rage in her eyes. They left the bathroom and walked down the hallway, brainstorming ideas of how they could catch Louise in action. I've noticed that Louise has been going to the weight room often, said Kitty. Since when has she been interested in lifting weights anyway? Well, isn't that interesting? Maxine said coyly. Plus, she doesn't even bring or wear gym clothes to school, and I've never seen her in the locker room, added Kitty. What a coincidence, Maxine jeered with sarcasm. Okay, so what time is it? Asked Kitty. You think she may be lifting weights right now? I guess it never hurts to check, Maxine stated with a soft smile. Maxine and Kitty walked to the weight room, hoping to catch Louise and Steven in there in order to overthrow Louise. Maxine took out her phone so that she could snap a picture at a moment's notice. Do you really think this will work? Kitty inquired excitedly. By the end of the day, everybody will hate her, Maxine declared with an evil smirk. Good, said Kitty happily. So all we have to do is catch Louise and Steven, get a picture, and post it around the school. Yeah, it'll be easy, stated Maxine with confidence as the open door to the weight room. Sitting on the bench press was just what they were hoping for. Louise and Steven were sucking face. Maxine snapped the picture quickly before they could pull away, but it really wasn't necessary. They didn't notice anyone even came in. The girls backed out quietly. They had what they needed. Louise will be a nobody by tomorrow.
The next morning, coming out of Spanish 1, Louise and Reggie were PDAing, holding hands as usual, and doing the whole "you're no cuter" thing. It's actually quite gross. Like, seriously, keep your hands to yourself. Anyway, as I walked down the hallway, I found a picture right on the wall of Louise and Steven. She dropped Louise's hand and took a step away from her. What is that? Reggie demanded, pointing at the picture. What? Louise said, dumbfounded. I don't know, this must be a prank. It's some prank. Really? A prank? Yelled Reggie, his voice rising about 3 octaves. That's some Photoshop job there. Louise, how can you do this? I trusted you. He said with the hurt evidence in his voice. I trusted you. By this point, everyone was gathered in the hallway just watching the commotion. I mean, they weren't exactly quiet about it. No, man, that's not what it looks like, said Steven defensively as he walked up to Reggie and Louise. We're teammates. I wouldn't do that, would I? Shut up, Reggie screamed angrily. He knew he was being played. Do you think I'm an idiot? Reggie exclaimed as he shoved Steven. Reggie, come back. Don't do this, begged Louise. I love you. Really now, Reggie blandly spat. If you love me, you wouldn't be making out with my son.
Louise didn't come to school for a week, but when she did, the incident still hadn't subsided. Everybody was still talking about it. As the girls sat at their new lunch table, they were trash-talking Louise. Can you believe her? Asked Maxine. And poor Reggie was so upset that he couldn't even play last night. Poor Reggie, chimed Kitty. She's been bossing us around for too long. I think we know what we have to do. We have to kick her off the table, Maxine declared. After all, we don't want to be associated with someone like that, do we? The rest of the table all nodded and agreed with Maxine. It's perfect. It's decided. Just then, Louise entered the cafeteria and began to walk to their lunch table. And just in time, look who's coming to show her sorry face. What do you think you're doing? Asked Louise as Maxine put her purse over Louise's chair. Sweetie, do you really think you can still sit here after your little fiasco? Asked Maxine with fake sweetness. But that's my spot, whined Louise, pointing to Reggie sitting by himself. Kitty said sweetly, just like that's your boyfriend over there. Oh yeah, he's not. Things change. We wouldn't want people to think we are like you, explained Jessica coldly. Why don't you just sit with Steven from now on? Said Rhonda flatly. Actually, I've talked to my boyfriend, and trust me, he will not be doing anything with you ever again, said Kitty. That is, if I even take him back like he's begging me to. I guess you'll have to make new friends, suggested Rhonda as she pointed to the loser table. Try them. What? I can't sit with them, cried Louise in disgust. Oh, sweetie, you began Rhonda, but she was cut off by Louise. Stop calling me sweetie, interrupted Louise. I think what Maxine was trying to say was that you really don't have a choice, said Rhonda matter-of-factly. Louise ran off, leaving her foot on the floor where she had just been standing.
2 weeks had passed since the lunchroom fiasco, and things have definitely changed. The truth is, the girls needed a leader. Without one, they were lost. They turned on each other, lost trust in one another, and basically all became Louises. This lunch period, the girls were sitting at their round table bickering. Annoyed with Kitty, Maxine accused her of trying to replace Louise. Kitty got offended, of course, and they started bickering, while the rest of the table sat and listened. Crazy? I don't think it's crazy. You always wanted to be Louise, accused Maxine, rolling her eyes. I never wanted to be Louise, Kitty said defensively. What's wrong with you? Maxine, Kitty is right. You need to calm down, Rhonda chimed in. Calm down, demanded Maxine. Oh, I get it. You two are in cahoots. She turned to accuse Kitty. Get rid of the queen bee so you can take over, and then Rhonda could be your little sidekick. Maxine, stop. You've been like this ever since the incident, expressed Jessica. You're worse than she was. Everybody is so sick of you and all your conspiracy theories. And what's with that stupid round table? I like the old one. It worked way better, and everyone had their own spots. Seriously, by this point, everyone was like crazy. They were going completely bonkers, like a pack of wolves, all feeding on one another. You know what? Rhonda said, as she picked up her tray and stood up. Jessica is right. We all hate you and your stupid table. Maxine, you stay here. Kitty, Jessica, and I are going to our old table. And Maxine watched, shocked her friends, one by one, left her for her old table.
This is when I come in. The girls needed a leader, and I was the girl for the job. Things are going great now. I kind of just took Louise's place after she moved. Eventually, Maxine came around, and now we all sit at their old table, but this time we trade spots once in a while. One of my fondest memories is the day that I came and ate lunch with them, though. This is the last part, I promise. I walked up to their table and said, "Excuse me, I couldn't help but see you had a few empty seats. Mind if I sit with you? My name is Napoleonette. I just moved you from Corsica." The girls all nodded their heads in agreement, so I sat at the head of the table. "Corsica? That's so cool," Kitty exclaimed excitedly. "I've always wanted to visit." "Kitty, by the way," "Yeah, last fall I begged my parents to take me," and said Rhonda longingly. "Oh, and I'm Rhonda. I'm Jessica. I totes want to go too." "You should go sometime. It's the best," I said. "Anyway, what did they give you for lunch?" "It's your choice, but you really shouldn't eat that."